It's 11:47 p.m., you're lying in bed. Bathed in the blue glow of your phone, you promised yourself you'd sleep early today. You swore tonight would be different. Instead, your thumb flicks up. Another short video. And another. A guy cooking a steak. A podcast clip you don't care about. A meme you've seen before. You aren't even enjoying it anymore. Your eyes are heavy, your mind feels like static, and yet, you can't stop. Why? If you think it's because you lack discipline, or because you have a weak character, you've been lied to. The truth is much darker and much more mechanical. You are operating exactly as your brain was designed to. The problem is your hardware is 200,000 years out of date, and the software running on it was designed by engineers in Silicon Valley who know exactly how to exploit it. There is a specific mechanism in your brain that controls every action you take. Once you understand it, your entire life makes sense. The misunderstanding of dopamine. Everyone talks about dopamine like it's a reward. The pleasure molecule, you see a piece of cake. You eat it, dopamine releases. You feel good? That's completely wrong. Dopamine is not the reward. Dopamine is the anticipation of the reward. In 1998, neuroscientists ran a famous experiment on monkeys. They'd ring a bell, give the monkey a drop of apple juice, and measure its brain activity. At first, the dopamine spiked when the monkey actually got the juice. It tasted good, but over time, as the monkey learned the pattern, something wild happened. The dopamine spiked when the bell rang, not when the juice arrived. When the juice actually hit the monkey's tongue, the dopamine levels were flat. Dopamine is the motivation chemical. It's what gets you off the couch to go hunt for food, or in our case, scroll for content. It is the feeling of wanting, not the feeling of having. And here's the terrifying part. The dopamine spike is highest when the reward is unpredictable. If the scientists gave the monkey juice only 50% of the time after the bell, the dopamine spike upon hearing the bell was massive. Uncertainty drives the brain insane. If you know exactly what you'll get, the spike is small. If you have no idea what the next swipe will bring, your brain floods with it. That's why you can scroll for 3 hours but can't read a book for 10 minutes. A book is predictable. The feed is a slot machine. Every flick of your thumb is pulling the lever. The baseline crash, so you pull the lever. You get the hit. What's the harm? It's just a little entertainment, right? Here's the mechanism they don't teach you in school. Every time you experience a massive spike in dopamine, your brain has a built-in regulatory system that forces a corresponding drop. It's called homeostasis. Your brain hates being out of balance. It wants to stay at a neutral baseline. When you flood it with cheap, instant dopamine from endless scrolling, junk food, or video games, your brain violently pulls the emergency brake. It drops your baseline dopamine level below where it started. Think about a rubber band. You pull it back, and when you let go, it snaps past the resting point in the opposite direction. That empty, hollow, slightly depressed feeling you get after a 3-hour binge, that's not guilt. That is a neurochemical deficit. Your rubber band just snapped back. And what do you do when you feel that deficit? You reach for the phone again? You need another hit just to feel normal. You need to pull the rubber band back just to reach zero. You are no longer seeking pleasure. You are medicating your own self-induced withdrawal. You are trapped in a cycle of your own biology. Now, forget everything I just said. Let's talk about a rat in a box. In the 1950s, scientists Peter Milner and James Olds put a rat in a cage. They implanted a tiny electrode directly into the pleasure center of the rat's brain. They wired it to a lever. Every time the rat pressed the lever, it got a direct hit of stimulation, pure dopamine. The rat pressed the lever and pressed it again. It stopped eating. It stopped sleeping. It ignored the female rats in the cage. It ignored water. It ignored a painful electric grid it had to cross just to reach the lever. It just pressed the lever up to 7,000 times an hour until it died of starvation. We look at that and think, stupid rat, but look at your screen time report. Are you really that different? You skip sleep. You ignore your real-life relationships. You forget to eat or drink. You endure the literal pain of eye strain and neck cramps. The only difference is that our lever is made of glass and it fits in our pocket. The trap of the detox, so how do we fix it? How do we stop being the rat? The internet will tell you to do a dopamine detox. Lock yourself in a dark room for 24 hours. No phone, no books, no music, no human contact. Stare at a wall and reset your brain. That is garbage advice. It sounds hardcore, which is why people click on it. But it doesn't work. Why? Because the moment you step out of that room, the slot machines are still there. The billboards are still there. The notifications are still there. And you have built zero defense mechanisms. You don't need a 24-hour detox. You need a permanent rewiring. You have to change how you interact with the modern world, not just run away from it for a day. And it takes exactly 3 practical steps. The rewiring process. Step 1. Introduce friction. Your brain will always choose the path of least resistance. It is lazy by design to conserve calories. If the phone is on your knit stand, you will grab it. If it's in another room and you have to get out of bed, walk across the cold floor and grab it. Suddenly, the cost outweighs the anticipated reward. Don't rely on willpower. Willpower is a battery that drains throughout the day. By 9 p.m., your willpower is 0. Rely on environment design. Make the bad habit physically annoying to start. Delete the apps off your home screen. Make yourself log in every time. Put your phone in a drawer in another room while you work. Friction is your best friend. Step 2. The 15-minute rule. When the craving hits, and it will hit hard, don't say no. Your brain hates no. It will fight you. It will obsess over the thing you're denying it. Say later, I'll check my phone, but I'll do it in 15 minutes. What you're doing is breaking the hardwired link between the trigger and the immediate reward. You're introducing a delay. Most of the time, by the time those 15 minutes are up, the urge has passed. The dopamine wave has crashed. You've surfed the urge. Step 3. Hard dopamine. You can't just remove the cheap dopamine and expect to be happy. You have to replace it with something else. Working out? Building a business? Learning a guitar? Having a deep 2-hour conversation with a friend? This dopamine doesn't spike and crash. It builds a steady, sustainable baseline. It's the difference between eating a handful of sugar cubes and eating a massive steak. One gives you a rush and a crash. The other gives you fuel for the entire day. When you do hard things, your brain rewards you with a deep, lasting satisfaction that a TikTok feed can literally never replicate. You have a choice. You can keep pulling the lever. You can keep letting algorithms in a corporate office thousands of miles away dictate your mood, your focus, and ultimately, your entire life. You can be the rat in the box, or you can take back the control. It will be uncomfortable. It will be boring at first. Your brain will scream at you to go back to the cheap hits. But on the other side of that boredom is your life, waiting for you to actually live it. The cage is open. You just have to walk out. Anyway, I'm collecting donations in the form of subscribes to fund the next video.